This spreadsheet is incredible. Whether you're new to numerology or you've been studying for years, this is going to be a huge game changer for you, so stick around and I'm going to show you how all of the features of this spreadsheet work and how it can tell you about your personality and your future life experiences. Ready? Then let's jump right in. In the first tab, you'll find the basic instructions, and below that, you'll find the disclaimer. Please read and understand this before using the spreadsheet, and if you have any questions about it, you can leave a comment or send an email to me at excelsior5885@gmail.com. This spreadsheet is based on the books Numerology and the Divine Triangle and Numerology and Your Future by Faith Javane and Dusty Bunker, which use the Pythagorean system of numerology. These books aren't necessary, but they do contain extended descriptions of the numbers, so I recommend using them as a reference if you can. If you haven't purchased your copy of the spreadsheet yet, you can get it at the link in the description so that you can follow along and find your personal numbers, as well as the numbers that describe all the different cycles you will move through in life. Let's start with the personal numbers, which will appear here. The soul number is the sum of all the vowels in your name. The personality number is the sum of all the consonants in your name. The path of destiny number is the sum of all the letters in your name. And the life lesson number is the sum of all the digits in your birth date. I'll explain more about these numbers shortly. Start by typing your first and middle name here, and then your last name here. Only use one letter per box, and don't put a space between your first and middle name. For the example name, I'll use Dwayne Douglas Johnson, aka The Rock, because not only is his life well documented, but this name has both a W and a Y, which are letters that may need consideration if you have them in your name. In the book Numerology and Your Future, it says that when there is a Y in your name, there will be 2 soul numbers and 2 personality numbers, and if so, those will show up here. Additionally, the W in Dwayne's name is not making a consonant sound as W's usually do, but instead it's making a vowel sound. This is an uncommon situation that I do need to bring up just in case you have a W in your name which makes the vowel sound oo. Most users can ignore this, but if this is the case for your name, then you will have to type a 5 here underneath the W which is making a vowel sound. This is because W is the 23rd letter of the alphabet, and we reduce 23 by adding the digits together. 2 plus 3 is 5. This process is called reducing, and it's used all the time throughout numerology. Before you do this, you'll want to save a copy of the spreadsheet so that you have a version with the original formula in this box. Now that the name has been entered, we can enter the birth date here. Make sure to type the month first, then the day, and then the year. All the dates throughout the spreadsheet are in month, day, year format. So please keep that in mind if you are used to using the day, month, year format. Around the time you turn 30, the power number also comes into play, which is calculated by adding the path of destiny number to the life lesson number. So you will see that that has appeared underneath the other personal numbers here. Now we are ready to start interpreting the numbers. This can take a bit of practice to get good at, but the key is understanding the context in which each number is interpreted. The soul number is the simplest to understand because it represents who you already are, what your inherent natural qualities are, basically what makes you you. The outer personality number represents the way you are seen by the people in your life, the way you see yourself, and the way that you present yourself to the outside world. The path of destiny number represents the things that we must do and the qualities we must act with to learn the lessons and acquire the qualities that we deeply desire. And the life lesson number describes those qualities and lessons that our life's events, opportunities, and challenges are leading us to learn and become. The power number describes your motivating force, which is usually through desire for certain qualities in life. Keep in mind that in numerology, we are not dealing with the numbers themselves, but instead we are looking at the qualities of those numbers and how those qualities manifest in our experiences. So when I'm talking about a number's vibration, I am talking about the qualities of that number being expressed. Since these numbers here are personal numbers, we will look them up here in the Personal Vibrations tab. Dwayne's soul number is both a 33/6 and a 40/4, which means that his core identity and personality will reflect both of these vibrations and may change between them throughout his life. So scroll down to 33/6 and it says, compassionate, teacher of teachers, strong desire to improve world, requires self-sacrifice. Brave, honest, self-disciplined, versatile, creative. And 40/4 here says, honorable, confident, orderly lifestyle, good with money, math, and emotions, studious, meditative, peacemaker, compassionate, and strong inner guidance. And these are certainly qualities which would be necessary to have the kind of career that Dwayne has, especially when it comes to versatility, self-sacrifice, discipline, and creativity. It can give you a lot more insight to look at the reduced numbers, so I recommend always checking those as well. In this case, 33 reduces to 6 and 40 reduces to 4, so I would look up 6 and 4 here at the top. This is straightforward though, so I'll skip this in order to keep the video as brief as possible. His personality number is both a 51/6 and a 44/8. And again, this means that the way he is seen and the way he presents himself to the world will reflect both vibrations and may change between them at times throughout his life. 51/6 here says, warrior spirit, upholds truth and justice, authoritative, leader, perceptive, intelligent, active mind, alert, cautious, yet cheerful and calm. He may be stern and harsh. 44/8 here says, disciplined, steady worker, resourceful, cautious, planner, brave, logical, well-developed physically, mentally, and emotionally, but may be lacking spiritually. Now keep in mind that these are qualities that Dwayne is being seen to have or presenting to the world. They are usually also qualities that he sees in himself, and he may have mastered them significantly, but that does not mean that these qualities come naturally to him like the ones for the soul number. Moving on to his path of destiny number, which is a 12/3. This indicates that Dwayne will move closer to his goals when he uses and expresses the qualities of wisdom, when he is spiritually analytical, when he provides guidance and is accepting. Having a strong sense of inner peace will also help him along his path. His life lesson number is a 26/8, and this tells us that Dwayne's life experiences are leading him to learn and become a courageous, powerful person. Impulsive here would mean that he is learning to become more decisive. He becomes a gifted speaker, and karmic experiences help him to learn more, and stress will lead him to have greater self-confidence, self-control, and endurance. Finally, his power number is a 38/2, which means that he is motivated by the desire to be psychically intuitive or visionary, and perhaps he will have intensely spiritual experiences which drive him forward. He is likely motivated to have material security, as well as have a happy marriage and to be a good parent. Part of his motivation comes from the desire for pure happiness, which comes from service to others. Now that we've interpreted the personal number vibrations, let's look at some of the temporary number vibrations in the chart. Here in this box, it lists the type of temporary vibrations and their usual order of importance. Here we have the divine triangle vibrations, which occur during specific years of your life, as shown here. Over here we have the yearly vibrations, the 4-month period vibrations, the monthly vibrations, and the daily vibrations, which all change throughout regular time cycles, and so the same values can be seen here on the Cycles tab. The Cycles tab is a great way to visualize your cycles and where you are right now in the journey of your life. However, the My Chart tab is better for looking up a specific time in the past or future. So let's go ahead and look up 1996 by typing the year into this box. And it was in November of 1996 that Dwayne made his debut in professional wrestling. For November, we're getting a 43/7, and over in the temporary vibrations tab, we can see that says, results of past efforts become apparent, success, peace, abundance, and celebration of goals realized. And in April the following year, he suffered a loss and an injury, which is indicated here in his 4-month cycle, which extends from January to May 1997. The 13 and the 11 both indicate that this is a period of challenges and of change and reconstruction. The 36 for April here also suggests that temporary burdens and apparent losses can appear during this cycle. You might notice that all these cycles begin and end on the birth date, and this is true also for the yearly cycle, which begins on your birth date for that year and continues through the next year until your next birthday. This is the way that the books I've learned from do it. Some other numerology systems might not do this, but it makes the most sense to me, and I have found consistent accuracy with this system. Let's also take a look at 2012, because this is the year in which Dwayne started his own production company, around the time when his acting career was really taking off. We can see that the vibration for this year matches his Path of Destiny number, but instead of looking in the Personal Vibrations tab, we'll look in the Temporary Vibrations tab to see the types of experiences that were the theme of his 2012. And it says waiting period, paradigm shift, success through acceptance. They somewhat suggest him starting a company, as that is usually a waiting period and a paradigm shift to becoming your own boss, but it's not very specific. So if we look again, we can see that in 2012, he is 40 years old, and there is a divine triangle experience here, which is a 60/6. Now, this vibration says success is within sight after struggles, companionship/love, and collaboration. And this is really hitting the nail on the head here, because he actually co-founded this company with his wife. Not every year you'll have a divine triangle experience, but make sure to check both of the major and minor processes of the divine triangle experiences here, as they can really tell you what is going on during that period of life. And just a side note, the major and minor processes are not major or minor in relation to each other. They are simply the names of the calculations used to get those numbers. Now let's explain a bit more about the My Cycles tab. I mentioned that the number vibrations here will be the same as the ones shown in the My Chart tab, but the main difference is that this tab gives you dates for the action points and peak points of these vibrations. The red arrows are pointing to what vibrations are being experienced currently, and so we can see that right now, Dwayne is coming up on the first action period of a 13-4 for his yearly cycle. We can scroll down here and see what that means from this little reference box. What this tells us is that the actions made around the first action point will determine how the vibration culminates during the peak point, and then the actions made around the second action point determine how the vibration transitions into the next one. Because we are all under the influence of many vibrations at all times, I made this little graphic to help visualize this based on this image, which is from the cover of Numerology and Your Future. The longer vibrations are more pronounced, while the smaller ones are more subtle, and they all combine somewhat like this. You can also enter the time of birth here, which will change these times, showing you when the action points and peak points are during the day. If you don't know your time of birth, I've included the method from the book over here in the first tab on how to estimate that. The next tab is called Divine Triangle, where you can see the way that the numbers are laid out when doing the calculations on paper. If you are not familiar with the Divine Triangle system already, then feel free to ignore this page, as all the information is already on the other pages. As you can see, there is a second layout here for the My Chart 2 tab, and this tab is identical to the My Chart tab from before, but it allows you to put in a new name and birth date so that you can compare two charts side by side. The My Cycles 2 tab will show the cycles for Chart 2, and that is also identical to the My Cycles tab from before. In the latest version of the spreadsheet, I've added two new tabs, More Numbers and World Calendar. You can still get the previous version, however, if you don't need these features and you want to save a bit of money. Check for the links in the description. In the More Numbers tab, you'll find the Pinnacle and Challenge numbers, Habit numbers, Attitude numbers, Abracadabra numbers, and the Gift numbers, which the book refers to as birthday gift numbers. For Chart 2, the Pinnacle and Challenge numbers are over here to the right. You just have to scroll over a bit to see them. And just like on the My Chart page, the way to interpret the meaning of each of these numbers is written in the parentheses near them. Finally, the World Vibration tab is where you can see the general world vibrations for each day. The current world daily vibration will be shown here, along with the Chinese zodiac animal for the current year and month. You can look up a specific date by changing the year in this box here, and then finding the date on the calendar below. The current date will always be highlighted in gold, and the birth date for charts 1 and 2 will be highlighted in red and blue respectively. All master numbers that appear on the calendar will be shown in purple, and I have included the typical master numbers as well as the numbers 29, 38, and 47, etc., since these numbers all reduce to 11, which is a master number. The following year will always be shown here in the adjacent calendar. So right here it will show what vibration it will be exactly 1 year from now. In these boxes here, you'll find the Chinese zodiac animal for the year and month of birth for chart 1 and chart 2. The Chinese zodiac month here will always show the current month. So if you want to look up that information for a specific date, you can type it in one of these boxes and it will show up here adjacent to that date. At the top is where you'll find the descriptions for the Chinese zodiac animals, as well as the descriptions for the trees in which they fall into. These are color-coded by tree, so it's easy to see which tree each one belongs to. And that's it! If you have questions about any part of the spreadsheet, feel free to send me an email or leave a comment below. Thanks to everyone who has supported this project so far. I have some great things coming in 2023, including a new spreadsheet for energy healers, as well as some guided meditations. So please, if you would like to see something specific, send me your suggestions for what kind of guided meditations you would like me to make. I hope this video has found you at the perfect time, and that it will be of perfect use to you. Thanks once again, and have a wonderful day.